Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Doug Page along with you here as we're set for a special interview here on Zoom as we talk with senior baseball player at East Stroudsburg University, CJ Lopez, and what CJ's been up to over this summer and what he intends to kind of get into over the summer. And we look into the fall and in the spring. And CJ, just kind of start off. Obviously, you guys had your baseball season canceled, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and you guys were off to a really great start. Just kind of talk about how things were as a team, and then your feeling when things just kind of got halted, right there in the middle of March.
Yeah, I just remember obviously we were at a really, really good start. So everyone was, energy was always up every day at practice, all this stuff. And then slowly, things started, rumors popping here, there. I just remember communicating with other schools in the PSAC, like Bloomsburg, Westchester, a couple of friends there, and they would just tell us hey, we might get some meetings this week or this week. And we were just, kind of worried because, everything was going so well.
Yeah.
And kind of kind of felt ah, man, if this ends, what's going to happen? The seniors, we were all scared. We wouldn't lie. Me, Joey, Paylene, we were very scared. And then, what's it called? And then Coach K finally brought up the meetings, and he kind of saw that we were nervous. So we're going in. I remember he sat us on the bleachers next to the first base dugout side, and he said, first up, if anything happens, we'll make sure we'll take care of you guys, and everything's going to work out. Things are going to go for the better. But as of right now, everything's set in stone. We're going to play baseball, and that was kind of just our mindset, staying through. We're going to play, and we're going to play hard, and we're going to still strive for for a championship. And then news came out. A bunch of other schools were talking to us. They canceled us, they canned us, and Coach K brought us from the meeting and told us we're done. And it was emotional. The seniors were looking around most. We were just what do we do from now? But yeah, it was tough. But they God willing, they gave us this year back. So all of us are coming back, and we're excited to get going.
And so obviously, things getting canceled there in March, and now you don't have anything to do. Classes, going remote, going online, new experience in that. So just kind of talk about what you were able to do, obviously with not having baseball to play, and then taking classes online to kind of fill up that free time that you had gained with baseball being canceled.
Oh yeah, obviously it's tough. When you have, I think I had about five maybe six classes, and you just have to stay on it. That's the thing with remote classes. You're not on your stuff. It's really tough. But I just try to stay focused, and we communicate with the guys in our group chats. Hey, stay on top of your academics, because we need everybody. We need everybody on the field to stay eligible. But not everyone. I think this is one of our better GPA semesters. We did really well. It was pretty much just stay on top of your stuff. The older guys would make sure the young guys, hey guys, take care of your grades, and because we have big plans. So it just stay on top of your stuff is pretty much the main thing.
And with that free time, one of the things that we had noticed you starting into and starting posting about was music. So just kind of talk to us about where the passion for that came and kind of how you're able to get involved with that, and what you're doing right now with music, and where you would like to go with that, and also how that kind of ties into baseball and with you finishing out your baseball career in college.
Yeah. Well, first off, music, a lot of people may not know. Anyone who knows me, not too well, but knows me, they would always think, oh, it's just CJ's a straight baseball guy. That's all that's all he focuses on. But my family is extremely into music. I would honestly say music is number one in my family, which many people just don't know about my family. This is my cousin, pretty much my brother. We grew up together. He's my producer. His name is Alex, and him and my uncle own AV Studios here out in Clifton, New Jersey, and they record music for a bunch of artists around the area and more internationally. My uncle is actually a pretty well-known international Catholic speaker and preacher, and he sings as well. And we have a huge ministry called MDJ, and it's been going on for a long time.
30 years.
Yeah, about 30 years. And they've been really into music. My dad played bass. My mother's a singer. My aunt's a singer. And my uncle's actually the organizer of all the music and everything that goes on behind the scenes as well. But that's been in my family for as long as I can remember. They try to get us going in music early. I played guitar when I was young, as you might have seen on the pictures and all that stuff. He was a drummer. He still drums here and there too, but he's focusing more on the producing aspect of it. And you know, it was more of like, you know, I was always baseball. I was focusing baseball. And you know, they would always bug me like, hey, like when are you gonna get in the studio? Like when's this all gonna take place? Like, and I was like, oh man, you know, I don't know. Just like as a shy person, like I'd get really nervous. I'm like, I don't know if I'd ever get in. But yeah, it was one day. It was like he's like, yeah, just do a cover of something, or like, you know, some artist. I'm like, all right, cool. So then I just came out one day and I just hopped in the booth and I was just like, okay, like it feels pretty good. And I thought it sounded pretty well. So you know, I kept going from there, and I just kind of noticed it was kind of getting easier and easier and easier. And for that way, like I saw, I'm like, this actually could, you know, be something cool. And you know, obviously I'd shoot for like feedback too and ask people how it sounds, and like everyone gave me good feedback. So like I love it. It's been in my blood forever, and you know, like I'm definitely going to continue doing it. Definitely love it.
Well, and talk about obviously, you know, with baseball and, you know, the work that goes into that and the regiment and the focus and all of that. Just kind of talk about how that can translate into, you know, the music, you know, field, and obviously having to be focused on that, and you have to be prepared and you have to be willing to be dedicated, you know, to that profession. So just kind of talk about how the two can kind of intertwine and a lot of things. There's a lot of similarities between the two.
Yeah. Well, baseball, first off, everyone knows if you're, you know, not even just baseball, as an athlete, as a collegiate athlete, you have to stay on top all the time. You always have to keep working, or, you know, you're going to get rusty. You know what I mean? It's like if we don't, as a baseball player, if we don't see a ball moving at us for a couple of weeks, our timing is thrown off. Everyone's going to, you know, you're slumping, and then you just have to re-find it. I just came to find music's the same exact way. As an aspect of like, say, like writing a song, or, you know, finding a melody, using a certain flow in that song. If you don't do it for a while, you come back in the studio, you have to try to have like a little writing session or something. It's you have a huge writer's block, and it's actually like, I was actually stunned like how similar that was with baseball. But yeah, this is something like you have to do, and it takes hours through the night. You know, we find ourselves here 2, 3 in the morning just trying to finish an idea because we don't want that idea to fade.
Go away, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's like, they both take really, really hard work, and, you know, but you fall in love with it, because once you get the results and they're good, and it's all worth it in the end.
And then talk to you about obviously in music and, you know, getting more into it, and obviously a passion of not yourself but your family, but kind of talk about where you might see that going in the future. Obviously, you know, playing as a collegiate athlete, obviously the goal, you know, baseball wise would be to go on to the next level, maybe get drafted, you know, maybe, you know, play, you know, minor league baseball, independent baseball. We've seen over the last couple of months kind of how the landscape of baseball, you know, in itself has changed. Obviously, you know, the draft getting cut down, and, you know, talks about, you know, minor league teams maybe being cut, but, you know, just talk about maybe what the future has for you outside of, you know, baseball and sports, and maybe in the music field. But, you know, maybe do you kind of try to work music and baseball together in the future?
Yeah, honestly, with baseball, obviously, like, you know, since we still have that extra year, like, you're still striving to see what may happen. You know, and for me, that's more just in, you know, in God's hands. If that's where, you know, he wants me to go, if something good happens there, then you know, you do it. But you just have to see, you have to weigh options, I guess. But that's the thing with the way I see is baseball is you know, it's a short time frame to do a lot, and, you know, you strive to do what you can in it. Music, I feel like you have a lot of time, you know. So I like doing this now too, where also another thing too is that, like, music, you can pop in a second. Baseball, it's like, it's a process.
Yep.
So that's why it takes a little more. Music, you can work really hard at something and it can pop overnight. Things happen with, you know, that's why with the social media, all this stuff like that. So honestly, like, I love them both. So whichever, you know, music is like becoming a big love. But obviously with this year left of baseball, you still strive to see what may happen in that.
And also too, but just you hinted there about social media and obviously how that, plays into not only promoting yourself, but maybe promoting your brand, but also, in terms of a family business. That's how I was able to, kind of see what you had been doing and were into music and involved with that. So just kind of talk about how, social media can help in promoting not only yourself, but even, the music company as a whole in that profession, and letting people know that you aren't just, a student athlete or a baseball player, and how, big social media can be for yourself and for the company.
Yeah. You may agree with me too, that, you can even weigh on that too. Honestly.
Yeah, no, social media can take us so far, and it can help both aspects of the company and him as as a student athlete. And in my opinion, I believe that he has something great going for him, and we always knew that since the beginning. But his passion is baseball as well, so we give him both. We trying to push him for both, motivate him on both sides. But the social media really helps us out in big ways if we can get it more out there and everything.
Yeah, I honestly, social media, obviously, like you just said, like you didn't until I posted or something. Then you found out, I do music. Obviously, social media helps the music industry, and honestly, it's probably the biggest thing for it now, because there's people who can start as a social media personality and then just find music as another avenue as well. You know what I mean? So in both ways, I feel like you need to master both aspects. Like your music, obviously, if your music's good, I feel like you need to have a good social media life as well, because that's what engages fans, that engages listeners, a target audience. And that's really important, because they need to stay engaged for you to do well in the business. So social media is honestly, it's obviously up there with the music being the main course. Social media is right there with it, to be honest.
And kind of the last question I had, kind of tying it all back together. We talked about the promotion, obviously, from the music side of it, but along with being a student athlete, and during these times, not only with COVID-19, but a lot of other issues and topics going on across the world, across the country. Where does that music play in for you as a person, but also a student athlete, being able to have a voice, but then using this platform of music and social media as a voice to kind of get your message out that you might have, and being heard, and a message that you want to kind of portray across through that medium?
Honestly, music is it's another language, I feel. Music, a bunch of people can express themselves and say a message that they might not feel comfortable saying directly, but they could say it through their music. A lot of people have done that. A lot of people might go through a tough time and express that through their music that they might not even express to maybe their families. But that's why I love music so much, because shy people can feel pretty much outgoing in that aspect, and that's why I love it so much, because you can just express yourself however you want
And be who you are.
and be who you are at the same time.
All right, so last question for you, CJ. How anxious are you to get back onto the baseball field and get out there with your teammates?
Baseball starts today in the MLB, man. I'm excited to see Garrett Cole throw some rockets, man, with the Yankees. My dad's already blown up my phone. Like, oh, we're watching this game tonight, and I'm like, yeah, yes, we are, man. I'm tired of watching highlights. I've been watching highlights every day, and I just want to be with the guys. I miss the guys every day. We keep in contact through our group chats and all this stuff. We crack jokes on each other. I just miss the atmosphere. Coach K, being around him all the time. ESU's great, and we love the atmosphere. We have a lot of unfinished business to take care of with this last year.
Okay, I guess one bonus question here for fans: digital crowd fans or no fans at all in the ballpark?
You gotta have the fans, man. You gotta have the fans, man. The fans, it's just everything. You got the family, the friends. You need that human aspect. That all the people cheering and stuff. It's not the same.
All right, CJ. Well, I thank you for joining me today. I'll give you a chance here if you want to go ahead and plug your social media accounts for people to be able to check out some of your work if you'd like, and so they can kind of learn more about what you're doing in the music field, but also kind of keep up to date what you're doing, on the baseball field as a student athlete.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you guys can follow me on CJ Lopez 7 on Instagram. You also follow AV Studios on Instagram too, as well. He does amazing work. He surprised me over the years how much he's elevated his producing and all this stuff. CJ Lopez _2 on Twitter as well. I'm starting up my YouTube as well, so that'll be coming out on my Instagram and Twitter, and we definitely got some music on the way as well.
Awesome.
So I'm really excited for this process, and I'm just excited for what's to come.
Well, that's awesome. I thank you guys for joining me today, and hopefully we can kind of get your message out there about music and being a student athlete, and kind of how both can turn in together and go in the long run and work out.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Doug. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Why did you go so far away? I'm such a mess. Need you to stay by my side. Yeah. I toss and turn every night. Sleep's not a thought. You on my mind. Oh, my mind. Yeah. I'm going down, straight to the ground. Yeah. She held me down. She held me down.